Welcome back to Nerd Out with Hoagie. I am not Hoagie. Just wanted to do a quick feeding video for my Drosera regia, or the king sundew. This is the plant I've had for a couple years. I bought it at a local carnivorous plant sale. The St. Louis Carnivorous Plant Society does an annual sale, and so I purchased it from one of my fellow members. I have this plant growing in a basement growing shelf under artificial LED lights. The current temperature is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. This is January of 2025. In the summer, it'll get a little bit warmer, but generally it stays fairly cool down here. Day length for the lights is set at, I believe, 14 hours per day. And so I tend to grow mostly tropical plants, and so I don't really need to worry too much about, changing day length and photo period and all that fun stuff. Generally just plant the plant and enjoy it. So this is again, Drosera regia. These are fairly long leaves. That's probably 9-10 inches long. There's, I don't know, 10 or so leaves from the primary growing point. There is a secondary growing point here. That was a root. A root came out of the bottom of the pot and started growing. I plucked that out of. I snipped the root, popped it into the media, and it did root. It's not growing super well, but it took it established. Obviously, the pot is kind of overgrown with mostly live sphagnum. I have some, of course, the Drosera capensis hitchhikers that kind of show up, or volunteers that show up everywhere. I do need to give it a wee trim. This plant I found is a little bit finicky to grow compared to other sundews. Probably even harder than my Drosophyllum, my dewy pine, in that it actually needs to eat a lot. So many of my sundews I don't actively feed, or I don't feed very often. They're probably picking up springtails or other small critters that are in the potting media, or fungus gnats or whatever that just happen to find their way into the basement. But this guy seems to need to eat a lot. And so every week or two, I will come down, and just like all of my other carnivorous plants that I grow indoors, I have flaked fish food that has been crushed, and I use a small, paintbrush and the dew from the plant, and I literally dab, doing this one-handed, I literally dab fish food onto the leaves. Try that again. Literally dab fish food onto the leaves. So, excuse the camera work. I am doing this one-handed, and I'm not very good at it. Anyways, so yeah, it's relatively straightforward to feed this guy. A little bit of fish food. You notice the leaves kind of curl. That's in response to feeding. So it is a very, very active sundew, and it's very physically responsive to food. And again, if I don't feed this thing regularly, it seems to suffer. So it's not like a capensis where I don't know where that stuff finds food, but it just grows forever. This guy does need to eat fairly regularly. Again, cheapo fish food works fine with me. Could you use other food sources, like, I don't know, dried bloodworms? Sure. I'm allergic to dried bloodworms. I don't use those. Aquarium, just cheapo aquarium fish food seems to work wonderful. So that's a quick overview and a quick feeding of my my king sundew, and hope you enjoyed the video.